Hey guys, it is Austin here. Today I'm going to show you how I do Abyssal Sire. This is a semi-efficient guide, roughly 35 kills per hour. You can definitely do more if you have the resources to do so. However, this is how I do it. 35 kills per hour, 80-minute trips. It's important that you fill your rune pouch up with these specific runes. Do not fill them all the way up. You will also be using your rune pouch as storage for your loot. So make sure you don't bring all 16k each or whatever it is. This is the inventory I run on my main account. Note that I do use a singular alt. However, there are no hard requirements on that alt. It can essentially be a level 3, freshly bonded in off Tutorial Island. It just has to be able to actually get to the Nexus. Or to the Abyss, sorry, not the Nexus. But yeah, this is how I kill Abyssal Sire. I really enjoy it. As of recording this, I think I'm ranked like 750 or something like that. I'm going for the pet. I think I'm 3.2k KC. No pet in sight, but like I said, I've done a lot of Abyssal Sire, so I figured I would share with you guys how I prefer to do it. So the alt portion is fairly straightforward after you have your main set up. This is what I like to bring: one super combat potion, one anti-poison. You only need the anti-poison if you make a mistake, and then prayer pots and hard food. Sire drops a lot of super restores and potatoes, so sometimes you're going to have too many prayer potions, sometimes you're going to have too much food. It doesn't really matter. You'll just sort of start customizing your inventory based on your own experience, but this is just sort of a rough draft. As you can see, all I'm doing here is putting a glory on the account. I'm telling into the abyss. I'm running around it with like a chicken with my head cut off. I've done this a million times. I still have anxiety running through this place. It's like PTSD from the olden days trying to get that rune pouch. So, run around this. If you were a level 3, this may be somewhat difficult. I don't actually know what these hit, but that's worst case scenario. You know, if you have like a level 40 account with 20 defense, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. Worst case scenario, take a hit off your prayer potion and put on overheads if you really needed to. I mark the tiles because coming in from the abyss, you come in from the opposite side of the fairy ring. So, you know, that's just one less thing to think about. And during the actual kills itself on your main account, if for whatever reason you want to do a trip longer than 80 minutes, you can easily run, bank, and completely reset your alt mid-kill for 0 time banking and stay here indefinitely. So you're going to want to start the kill by hitting Sire one time with your Sang Staff. You're going to wait 2 or 3 ticks and then Shadow Barrage him. We do this to avoid the delayed response from the tentacles. Each of the vents have 50 HP. We're going to use our Sang Staff, and if you don't misclick like I do right there, we're going to try and Phantom Barrage the last hit of every vent. They only have 50 HP. You can tell very easily if you're going to kill them based on your XP drop. So you can see right there, got a nice little Phantom Barrage, healed some HP off of each vent. Every time you do this phase, you can potentially heal well over 100 HP just based off of Sang RNG. However, like I said, that's RNG. If you really need to heal, just Blood Barrage the last hit of the vents. It's going to be a guaranteed, say probably 40 or 50 HP per kill, which is going to be, I mean, all of the damage you're even going to take from the boss. So unless you get very unlucky, you're not going to use any food. So I always stand on this tile waiting for Sire to respawn. I do that for a specific reason. That is because as soon as you hit Sire, most of the time you will dodge that pool right there. I was a little unlucky and didn't wait long enough, so took a little bit of damage, but you know, what can you do? These things happen. You have HP to lose. It is not that big of a deal. So you're sitting here, you're fighting Sire. You know how to kill Sire, not that big of a deal. The Fang is much more consistent than the Arclight I've found. After you P1, you go right here. You turn on from Protect from range. You wait till you can red click him. Red click, hit him twice, typically, and then you will move, run back to this tile, hit him twice right here, run behind him, hit him once, move immediately, and there he is dead. And that is a typical Sire kill. So a few tricks while doing the fight. One thing, if one of these little minions spawns, don't waste any time killing it, and it's not worth it. Like I said, you have so much healing in your kit that whatever damage they do to you is going to be essentially irrelevant. That also applies to P3 or 4, whatever the last phase is. Whenever there's a million of those little minions, do not blood barrage them. I don't care what anybody says, that is the biggest noob trap and the biggest waste of time you can do at this boss. There's never a situation where you should blood barrage any of these. Don't let yourself go below 30 HP, that's why you have food. If you find yourself at like 25 HP, just eat an anglerfish, it is fine. Do not blood barrage them, it takes way too much time and it's way too inefficient. So you'll see that my inventory is filling up here. This is where the alt comes into play. It's very simple, guys. You trade your alt, all of the loot, and then he just completely resupplies you. This is the somewhat lazy way to do it. You could do this exact same method, however, just have your alt drop all of the supplies and your loot. That way you could just do this 0 time while killing the boss itself. I do appreciate you guys taking your time to watch this. I hope it helps with your pet grinds or bludgeon grinds, whatever you are choosing to do. I'm going to leave you with, we'll probably say 4 or 5 unedited raw clips of Sire. There are a few like niche scenarios that can pop up, like if for whatever reason your Fang is noodling just exactly where I'm moving. Like I said, every single kill, and you'll see that in the following clips, I make the exact same movement. It makes for extremely consistent kills. Now, with that being said, you can substitute the Fang if you don't have the money for an arc light. You know, I did probably like 2,000 plus kills with an arc light. It works just fine. However, there are 2 major downsides. One, the upkeep fee. If you don't do a lot of Catacomb Slayer, you will run out of charges. And 2, on the final phase, the arc light is prone to noodling, so you can just sit there and hit like 8 zeros in a row, and when those minions get big, you're going to be taking so much damage. And I guess also if you're using an arc light, you need to be using a BGS or a Dragon Warhammer as well, which, you know, it's just one more thing to do. It's less chill. The Fang specs absolutely shred the final phase and just make it for the most consistent way possible. If for whatever reason you do not have a Sang staff, you can downgrade to a Trident and just use a Blood Fury. It will effectively work the same, just not quite as consistent, as well as you can upgrade from a Sang to a Shadow, in which case again you can use a Blood Fury. It will be just fine. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Please enjoy the following example clips. Hey, wow, you're still here. That's awesome. If you've made it this far into the video, feel free to add me in game. The first person who messages me, I will give you a bond. I really appreciate the support, guys.